First of all, we'll start with roll call.
Yes, sir. Jean here.
Here.
Susan Munier. Here. Ann Alzinger. Here. Beverly Hasty.
Here.
Jennifer Smiley. Here. Larry Burgess.
Here.
Larry Holbrook.
Here.
And Jerry Beard.
Here. John, will put notice?
Yes, Jerry, as per Florida statute, your documents notice is first.
Thank you, John. Deposition of prior minute meetings. And
I make a motion that we accept the minutes of October 2nd, 2020.
second by Larry. Any questions? All in favor, say aye. Approved. We pass it on pencil. Okay, before we start on, I just I appreciate everybody coming out. As far as I know, this is the first meeting in the evening. Nice turnout, but I really want to put a thank you out to the office staff and the maintenance department. These people gave up some of their own time and come in here so we can get this thing going. And Jamar, thank you. Deb, thank you. And John. And I know Darlene would have done it. And I know Jean and Mark would have done it. So I want to thank them. So again, and Mike, I'm sorry, Mike too. And I just want to say thank you guys. Jamar, just take that thank you for once. Okay, let's move on. We have the art committee.
I'll make a motion.
Well, hold on, let her come up. I know.
I'm in a rush.
May Nyberg, Oakwood, chairman for the art committee. We met on Monday.
There you go. Bring her mic.
Hello? Okay, May Nyberg, Oakwood, chairman for the art committee. We met on Monday morning and we went over all of the arts that had been put in. Of them all, 2 were not approved, and we had 19 that are recommended for approval. The 2 that were not approved was because it was an unapproved color, and the other one was we just need more information.
Okay,
It's too much.
let's take care of the 19 first.
I move that we accept the 19 for approval.
Is there a second? A second. Jean, second.
Question.
Yeah, we go.
Okay, one of them, when they put an arc in for a Ring doorbell.
Yeah,
Okay, we don't really handle that.
no, we
So,
don't.
okay,
Oh, it was nice that they put it in.
Yeah.
Didn't hurt anything.
thank you. I just wanted to make sure that we haven't added that.
Any other questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Now let's move on to the first one.
First one was for a screen room enclosure, and we just do not have enough information there. They want to screen in an existing patio, but they have nothing down as far as how they're doing it or, how it's being attached to the house or any of that. So, yeah.
She has, the man that's supposed to do it is coming to her house tomorrow, so I'm sure she'll put in some more information.
Yeah, that's all we need, really. I don't see a problem with okaying it once we have more information.
So can we get a motion not to go along with the art committee?
I'll move that we agree with the art committee and disapprove the screen room at 10605 Farnham Court.
For further information.
And for further
Is
information.
there a second hand?
Second.
We had 2 of them, actually.
Why don't we do one at a time? Thank you. I like telling you that.
I know you did.
Any more questions on that? Okay, all in favor? Opposed? That one's disapproved. Now you may speak on the other one.
The other one was on Valencia Court, and the only problem we had with that was the trim is an unapproved color. It's a very bright blue, and so that will have to be changed. Yes.
When I drove by the house, it said bricks, that's the whole front facade, is not, okay.
Well, we kind of had an argument with that at the committee meeting because I think that's more house color than actually trim.
Yeah.
But,
I wanted to make sure that I was looking at the proper house and I was
Yes, you
getting the
are.
right perspective of it.
yeah,
And
The trim color, the rock candy trim on what we were given looks just a little off-white.
what are you talking?
The trim color,
Yeah.
it's
She put white, it's actually rock candy, which is an off-white, I mean, it's still an improvement.
so you're, oh,
It's the bricks.
okay, the brick one, okay.
Yeah, and I don't know if you call that the house color or if you call it a trim color, I don't know.
Either way.
Well,
Either way,
it's the whole front of the house, it would probably be considered the house color, I think.
I would think that there's coloring the rest of the house another color.
Right.
So,
I'm a little slow with dropped a piece of paper, but which houses, which color are we talking about? There's three colors
the color on the bricks.
on the brick one.
That's the
Yeah,
whole
well, that's what I
front of the
thought,
house.
because that looks nice.
But it's the whole front of the house.
Oh,
But it's not
I
the
don't
color
know
we
that.
can.
Oh, you don't like?
Are you colorblind? I'm just, just wondering.
It's pretty.
It's very bright, it is not even near any of the approved colors at this point.
Scott, could you talk to May?
No.
All right.
Yeah.
And
So I make a motion that we, go along with the art committee and do not approve this architectural request.
second by Jennifer. Any other questions on it?
I need clarification, please. Are you just disapproving the brick color, or you're disapproving all colors?
The brick color.
Because like I said, I'm seeing three colors.
I think we disapprove the art application with the stipulation that the brick color is not approved. Does that work?
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That's.
Yeah,
Yeah.
all three of them colors. I didn't know.
I
I'm
don't
slow.
think there's anything in the art rules about three colors.
No, there isn't.
So it's just the color. The
All
white
right.
color.
Any other questions? Okay. There's a motion made, and all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Disapprove.
Thank you.
And I have down on there the orientation committee.
Well, I have something that I want to add to the committee. Beth Jehoda.
Is there a second? And second. Any comments about improvement that had on there? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
She's added. Laura, thank you. Okay, then we move on to unfinished business. Beth, you guys still working on it?
Yes, we're still working on the poll tax. Please tell your neighbors to get in here to have their, checked so that we have it with the right address, by November 1st, because November 1st, we're shutting off all of the fobs that haven't come in. So tell them how important it is.
Yep, thank you. Any other comments on that? Anybody from the audience? Everybody understands? Move on to the next one. In the documents, we're gonna get the final approval paperwork from their committee on November 6th. So let's just an update on that. Then we move to wall painting, John, and it looks like you're still getting numbers on that, so we can hold off until the next meeting on November 6th.
Yeah, I was hopeful to have some additional proposals tonight, but I don't have.
Okay, thank you.
Can I ask what wall that is? What wall is
It's
that?
the, oh, good.
Little room.
It's the masonry wall that starts at the RV lot and goes down Little Road.
The whole, on Little Road?
From the RV lot down to Walgreens.
Yeah, oh, okay, so we're talking about, and there's on that?
Yes.
Yeah, Chris.
We also have
Chris, your name, number?
Chris, I don't know a number.
I live in Forest Green,
What's your last name?
Nebraska.
You gotta say everything just like everybody else does.
We have another wall in here, and it's up on the back of Forest Run in Laurel Oaks. Are you going to be painting that? That's our wall. Not the school wall, which is brown, the yellow one, which is Timber Oaks.
John, you aware of that?
I know the wall she's talking about, but I'm not aware that we have any property in that area. So I think that's a question.
That's our wall back here.
So backyard, the house is.
All right, Ann,
If it's on the property, if it's the property owner goes up to that wall, the property owner will be paying for that, to be painted, not Timber Oaks. But if there's a portion of it that does belong to
where's the
Timber Oaks.
backside of it? Just face
The
it.
backside is the schools.
That's-
No, it is not.
Okay.
There's two sides.
Okay.
It's our
Why
wall.
was it?
John, just look into that for us.
Thank you.
Chris, we're talking about the wall that's currently got the stencil lettering on it, right?
No.
No, we're talking as you come in by Lomadeus, it's off to the right.
This, you have the monument here, and then it goes up. It's yellow. It's the same color as what's along it. And then it changes from this wall back further. It becomes the school wall. Thank you.
All right, John, you're gonna look into that. And I just wanna throw in the works, we're gonna add something on the agenda about an agreement for people that goes into the workshop to sign the release form. For us, we're gonna add that on the agenda for the release form for them when they enter in. And, I need somebody to make a motion that we make this approved thing for the people entering, working in the wood shop, and that they would, and this would go in effect on Monday, what's the date, Monday?
19,
I'm at the active week.
26.
The 26th, it would go in effect that we would have all existing fobs for the wood shop shut off on the 26th. And that way there, everybody that has a fob that works in there, they'll come in and sign the waiver form. Okay, is there a motion? Yeah, John?
Jerry, are we gonna approve that waiver as is, or are we pending legal?
No, we're gonna approve it as is. And, like you said, somebody wanna make a motion? Bev,
make a motion to approve the waiver for the wood shop
to go in effect starting
to go in effect starting
Monday.
Monday, the 26th of October.
And a second by Larry. Any other questions? Meg?
My question was on the painting. Do we have an update on this, on the lettering or anything? Have we heard anything?
No, that's a different thing. The painting of the wall is one thing.
So- It's not even on.
No, it's not on the agenda.
You know, we have to vote.
Vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it. Okay, now we get down to, soon we're gonna handle vendors and instructors.
Yeah, I'll start. I'd like to make a motion that we have no outside vendors or instructors at the clubhouse until at least through the first, I guess, through the first of the years. Or until further notice. Until further notice, that we have no outside instructors or vendors at the clubhouse until further notice.
Do we have any other comments from is there a second? Inside, outside?
Let's start with inside.
Inside. Okay. Is there a second?
Second,
Second?
Just so you can.
Yes, just so we can discuss it. Any comments from the board? Ann?
Yes, I know that the, Zumba was gonna start, I believe, next week inside, and I don't think that she has more than, what, a dozen people in here that certainly get space. I mean, if they can have dancing and, different stuff in here, I don't see why they couldn't, the people are wanting to get exercise, especially having been not being able to get out of the house for months.
Well, my only problem
It's
is
just
that,
the one person.
okay, Jennifer, you got something to say?
No, I was like,
That's the next one. My only problem is there's a way around everything. And like I said, Live Oaks, we have a band coming in here on Halloween, this plan. Would you consider that a vendor or an instructor? And that means that we wouldn't have a band. But again, there's ways around everything. And like, I myself don't have a problem with these people coming in and doing their things. But if we say vendors, then I can turn around and say, you know what? That one person's a guest of mine, and I can get somebody else to say the other one's a guest of mine, and I can have the whole band taken care of, and then they can play. And so, because they wouldn't be, they'd be coming in. But as far as I'm concerned, if it's under Live Oaks, we should be okay with having that. I mean, that's my feeling on it. Yeah, so,
The reason for doing it is because, can you hear me?
No.
All right, if we do have people in, especially exercise or other groups, exercise more than anything else, people are sweating, you don't wear masks when you're exercising unless you're really, really good at it, because you can't do it, just like you don't wear a mask normally in the pool. And at least it's somebody from outside the community, for the same reason we have the fobs, the doors are closed. I think we need to be as safe as we can, especially with it surging again. I mean, I know it's a pain. I don't like not doing things. But I think that we would be, for the benefit of all the people who live in Timber Oaks, we'd be better off.
well, again, okay, anyway.
I'd just like to ask a question to the audience. How many people out there have been to a restaurant to eat?
Walmart.
Or Walmart,
So
Or
you're around
Walgreens,
other people.
or CVS, Winn-Dixie.
Yeah, but I wear a mask when I go there.
But again, don't yell out, we just asked for a raise of hand.
But do you wear a mask when you eat? Okay, anybody can sneeze and cough when they're out at a restaurant too.
Well,
I
again, my feeling is, this is your own choice. You wanna come in there and come to a dance, then come in and come to a dance. If you don't wanna come to the dance, then don't come. It comes down to, if you wanna come in there and exercise, fine. I can't pick and choose who hangs around me, Everybody wants to hang around me, just ask me, and I'll tell you that. But again, I don't know who you hang around with, or who people say, well, I have a selected few people I hang around. Well, I don't know who they hang around with, and then they need me, so that excuse doesn't pass with me. My thing is, there's nothing wrong, I go to the Eagles, they dance out there, the Elks dance, and all that, and it's inside. It's your choice. You want to get up and dance, you want to come in. That's how I feel on it. So,
Right.
next, anybody else on the board? Anybody else on the board?
Can you restate the motion?
And the motion was to, what was it?
ban outside vendors.
Outside vendors and instructors.
And for how long?
And until whatever.
In essence, you're banning them for an undetermined amount of time.
Right.
I said,
I said, so in essence, you're banning vendors for an undetermined amount of time. Because come January, if Biden is elected, he's gonna shut the state down. So,
Well, again, let's not get into, let's not get into anything like I said. As far as I'm concerned, I'm only concerned right now with Timberwolves right here.
I'm just telling you.
I told him, but you know what? I don't care what happens tomorrow. I care what's going on today. And that's what I'm living with. Because tomorrow, we have no idea what's going on. Anybody else on the board?
Jane,
Jean?
Why can't you limit the number of vendors that come in?
And my limit to that would be the ones that Live Oaks is having their parties or what they want to have, let them control. We control the numbers, what come in. So if it's under Live Oaks, the vendor can come in. That's how I feel it should go. Okay, any other board member? Young lady?
Oh, Dan Thompson, Hitchita Drive. This is gonna be hard to do in 3 minutes. First of all, we've had the people coming to the outside parking lot for how long now?
Right.
We had somebody supposedly test positive. We've had people go on vacations, come back and not quarantine. Why the hell are we worrying about this now? We didn't worry about it for the last few months. It's much less going on right now. And the reason that I'm saying this is because I was just like everybody else. I have not been to the thing on Tuesday night, and I love music. I haven't been to the pool all summer. I was wearing a mask every damn place I went. Now I'm done and over it. I had 4 friends the other day, went to get tested behind Sears at the mall. They stood in line. One of them got sick and they had to leave. The dad went up and asked for their licenses back because they couldn't stay any longer. They said it would be another 45 minutes. They were already there 2 hours. Do you know what they got in the mail on Saturday? All 4 of them got positive results and not a damn one of them got tested. Stop
Excuse me,
worrying about this part. Thank you.
Dale, I didn't hear that last part. What was that last part again?
Which part?
They all got,
They all tested positive, but not one of them took the test.
oh,
This is ridiculous, the whole thing. If you're worried, wear a mask. I'm not worried. So if you come near me and you don't have a mask on, I'm ashamed of you. If you're sick, if you have a low immune system, by all means, wear a mask. But I'm done with the whole gosh darn thing. I'm not wearing one unless I have to. And to stop vendors now, where you've had them all along, is ridiculous.
thank you, Dale.
You gotta go in less than 2 minutes.
Oh, good.
Yes, Ellie?
Ellen Lilly, 8620 Gold Heights Drive, 14019, following the rules. And
Thank you.
talking about vendors, I do not think we have very many vendors coming in here except for the Zumba instructor. I mean,
Well, they're talking about a band, they're talking about
well, you're talking
the
like,
computer club, they're talking about stuff like that.
yeah, but overall, there isn't that, I mean,
Right.
to make a motion about it, to make a big deal about it here. And we haven't had Zumba anyway through this whole thing. In terms of, because I understand she was getting operated on or something. So, you know, it's not like years ago, we used to have an exercise person come in and more people were coming in here as vendors. I don't see that happening anymore. Most of it is volunteer here. And certainly, like you said, are we overemphasizing? If you want to wear your mask and go somewhere, and don't come if you don't want to come. And so that's the bottom line. We went out to that new place, the Widow Fletcher's, but, you know, they don't wear masks, they don't do anything there.
Okay, but again, we're talking about Timber Oaks.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, basically, my line dance class, they come in and we do social, there isn't that many there, but then this week, there was about 20 of us. So, nobody can put a mask on and dance. So I don't know, like Dale said, what's it all about?
Thank you. Well, it was brought up by a board member to
Right.
put on the agenda, and that's what we do.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and we're already talking about it. We didn't say we approved it, we just approved it.
Exactly.
But this is the only way that we can talk, is right here.
Okay. good.
Thank you, Ellen.
I mean, I've heard of I think if we're going to ban vendors from coming in, First off, if we're doing Zumba classes and there aren't that many people that take it, and the people that are worried do not take it, I don't see where you're going to spread COVID or the chance of it any more than you would if you have Ellie doing it, who does not stay in her house. Or if you have me leading the art committee and I don't stay in my house and we wear masks or social distance, they do the same thing with the exercise class. And it's not like they're not dancing with each other. And if you're going to stop vendors, does that mean that John can't have a vendor come in to talk to him about things? I mean, I don't think we can do this. I think we're getting past what we should be doing.
Thank you, Luann. Anybody else from the audience? Any other board member? I just say it's people's choice. They come and go. So a motion was made to ban vendors and instructors from the clubhouse. There was second. So basically all in favor of it, say aye. Opposed? Aye. So it stands, we have vendors. Now we have another one here. Now this one here, it's the holiday open house. But I am gonna recommend that we don't do that, holiday open house. Because that way there, the whole place is cluttered up and it's gonna be a cleaning nightmare through every room afterwards. Everything is used. And that's even if we get the crowd of people coming in and there's gonna be food served and everything else. But, I kinda like them. And so I'd like somebody to make a motion. Yep, Jennifer.
I make a motion that we do not have the open house.
There you go. She said she'd
I
like to make a
motion that we
motion.
do not have the open house this year.
And,
I second.
okay, any other questions? Basis, since we have none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Ayes got it. And the Live Oaks still, I make a motion, we still continue with the Live Oaks vendor function outside. So could somebody make a motion? No, I don't want to make it. You can make it.
I'll make a motion that we allow the vendor to proceed as planned.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Second. Any comments? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Oh, you had a comment, what's your comment?
Are we gonna get a schematic of how it's going to be laid out?
You want it now, I got one.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
I'm just concerned about the strip of the handicap parking because it can't be utilized.
And who's?
No, you're not gonna even.
The law.
No, you're not gonna.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's in the room for it.
Okay.
That's gonna be parking.
I haven't seen a drawing, that's why I asked.
We didn't want to show it to you.
Thank you. Oh, thank you, Connie. Thank you.
And just to let everybody know, I was talking with Connie and maybe trying to get together with Live Oaks. Right, Connie, that would maybe try and do something for the vendors. Yeah, that.
Something, instead of having the open house.
An open house, give away free hot dogs or something like that on a Saturday afternoon outside. On a Saturday, somebody wants to stop by, get a free hot dog, and Connie's gonna be looking into it. So, and then we got requests for somebody for, extending the pool exercise class. And, from 9 to 10, and then from 10 to 11. Again, we put it up there. I appreciate you all saying no, but we have to do our job by presenting it to the board so the board can discuss it. This is the only place legally that we can discuss things.
What are we, that's what we don't get.
Okay, they want to extend the pool aerobic class only, but come to find out, there's only a few of them. And from 9 to 10, and then 10 to 11. So 2 hours in the morning. And they do it 3 days a week. Yes. And so, but I need somebody to get in.
I make a motion that we do not extend the water aerobic class at this time.
Is there a second? Second. Is there any comments from anybody? Yes, please step up. Yeah, Judy.
I just want to clarify something. What happens with the exercise?
We can't hear you, Mary.
What happens with the exercise class, usually it's in the summer, they will come at 9 to 10. Oh, thank you. In the summer, they usually come 9 to 10, and then when it gets colder, they come from 10 to 11, depending on the season. So that works out good, depending on who's running the class. It doesn't matter. Because in the summer, it's hot, and in the winter, it's cold, so they come later. It's not, maybe you should clarify, maybe you
No,
don't.
I'm going by what I was fiscally told. I was fiscally told they want 2 hours, not changing the hour, don't go sticking your tongue out.
I didn't do that.
You know? Thank you, Mary, for your cooperation. All right, the motion's on the floor, the motion's on the floor to not allow it. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes got it. Okay, now we move on. Now we have another one, and I'm gonna handle this, about storage, the clubhouse storage of personal items. There's a lot of places in the clubhouse, whole room, whatever, sewing room, every place. Okay, there's a lot of personal items being stored and locked up. And my feeling is if the items belong to Timber Oaks, then they belong to everybody here. Not to be locked up and used by special people. Or somebody come up and say, well, you know, if you come here, we'll let you use it. To me, if it's in the building, if you leave it in the building, it's to be used by everybody. So that's my feeling on that. I need a motion by somebody on the board either to allow personal items to be stored or a motion not to allow personal items to be stored. And everything in here will be unlocked. Jennifer?
I'd like to make a motion that no personal items will be stored or locked in Timber Oaks property.
Thank you. And second. Any other comments from the board? Yes, okay, Sue?
I was just gonna say that I agree completely that we shouldn't be, have personal property locked up in the clubs. If Timber Oaks is paying for cards, for people to play cards, if it pays for the ping pong balls and all that, it should all be open for anyone who's using that facility. If you're bringing in stuff, if you do stuff that you need to bring stuff in, you bring it out. You don't leave it in Timber Oaks.
Yeah.
Will we be removing the locks from some of these cabinets and things?
Effective Monday, November 1st, but let's see if it gets approved first.
Okay.
We're not sure you're jumping. Yes, John?
Jerry, you want to clarify for some of the, like to use the bocce as an example? You
Well,
want to
that's outside. That's outside. This is what we're saying right now inside the building or anything attached to this building, like the wood shop and everything else. Anybody else have any comments? Dale?
Dale Thompson, Hachitas Drive. Do you know when this will be decided?
If it's voted on today and it goes through, it'll be voted on today.
Okay.
Effective Monday, October 26th. I learned that date earlier.
Okay, I'd like to find a way to clarify it a little bit because, as you know, I'm doing karaoke here on Sunday night.
Yeah.
Now, when I first started, I was told that I could use the stuff here, but I chose to use mine because it was too much
Right.
trouble. Now, in the meantime, speakers were donated that would make it a lot easier for me not to have to bring
Right.
my speakers. But there was also a big TV, and I was told that they were told they had to take it out of here. They couldn't leave it here, even though it was here for people to use. Do you know?
Don't worry about that. If it's in the building.
It's not. They were told they had to take it out.
Please, it's in the building.
Oh,
So, again, if it's in the building, you can use it.
okay.
Okay, all right?
All right.
Thank you.
Sorry.
Oh, here comes this lady.
Hi there. My question is, 99 Current Oakwood. My question is what happens to Ann's mystery dinner, what happens to what she brings in? What happens to us with Kaleidoscope? What are we supposed to do with our things? We can't be, carrying everything back in and out. Are you going to allow functions that are going on
Certain
to
functions,
store for certain?
but again, let's get to that situation when it occurs. We're right now, that has not come up,
Well, yeah,
And because she falls under Live Oaks, and so
Right.
Live Oaks has their own storage and stuff there.
okay, Kaleidoscope does not.
Right.
So are we going to bring up a special one, or if something's being held in the clubhouse for the entire?
Community, I can almost tell you 99.9% you'll be able to leave this up.
Okay,
It's at 1/10%.
Kaleidoscope has its own,
Storage shit of it. No, but when they set up for the stage and stuff like that, that's left overnight.
yeah, our storage shed is like 8 by 8, and it's out located by the maintenance building.
Yeah.
And right now, you cannot get in there size-wise, 1 foot. It is so full of stuff. And it has to be empty, but it's too hot. So at this point, we couldn't even use that, really.
Yeah, but I would, look at the people that's in charge of that and get that done.
Oh, when it cools off.
Actually, that's the Players Club, the former group, the Players Club that started Kaleidoscope.
Who's speaking?
I have asked, Colleen Malilly, 862 Old Pine Drive, and I have asked, the maintenance man, when I first met the gentleman, Mark, and never, he lived there with Marie, and I asked him to get rid of a lot of that stuff for us and take out that great big wooden structure, because Edie and I had gone there and cleaned it out and took care of it. And next thing I know, the Kaleidoscope brought all that junk back in again. I said, just get rid of it, put it in the dumpster and get it out of there, and let's clean it out some more. But in the
I
meantime.
think that there is, you need to take that up with
It
the
is not all
Kaleidoscope.
that small, it's a nice size place.
Ellie, I totally agree, but you need to take that up with the Kaleidoscope people. The board can't help you on that.
Yeah, oh, well,
Because that's Kaleidoscope storage shed, so if you think it needs to be cleaned
okay, so
up.
I address it with LeMay because
Everybody hear me talk?
I don't know what the Players Club is anymore.
Yeah, well, again, that's something you take up with them.
Right.
Okay, thank you.
Patricia McKibben, 8520 Elgin Drive. Can I kind of clear that up just a little bit as far as Kaleidoscope is concerned? I have already met with the two chairmen. We have gone over to the shed. We have one big problem, and that is the huge wall. I suggested something that will resolve that problem, and we are going to clean that out. We're going to go through all of the materials, reorganize, but not until the weather gets a little bit cooler. So the problems that we have right now with that shed, I'm a great organizer. We're not going to have that problem when we get through.
Well, Pat, right now, I appreciate you talking about that. Well, we're talking about, things, so that's something you need to work out with Kaleidoscope people. Thank you very much.
I'm Ron Wysack, 7024. Talking about the shed, I was in charge of that shed for many years. And there's a lot of that stuff in the shed that I'm not sure whose it belongs to. So I think that you probably should put out a note if there's anybody who has anything in that shed that belongs to
Ron,
them.
I can tell you right now, dude, everybody's talking about that shed. We're not concerned about, that's the Kaleidoscope check. Take that up with the Kaleidoscope people who's in charge of that.
Well, somebody brought it up.
Well, no, we didn't bring it up. We're just talking about somebody was running out of storage room. Thank you.
Is that right? G-R-A-T-E?
I think so. I think so, that works good.
All right, thank you guys for talking. Okay, anybody else? All right, what was the exact motion to everybody unlock? No personal stuff.
unlocked.
All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes got it, John. Effective Monday, everything is unlocked. And if it has a lock on it, the locks will be cut. If we don't have keys. Now for the outside, we keep those locked up outside because if you have people walking by and strangers, this is a secure building per se, and that's why it is what it is. Anything in here, just like the stuff outside, anybody can use what's out there. Anybody can use it. And if you want the combination, come to the office. Yeah, John.
Jerry, again, just to clarify, we're talking about personal items in the facility, and we're talking about personal items that don't necessarily have to be under lock and key, or are we just talking about things that are under lock and key?
Well, if it's not under lock and key, as far as I'm concerned, anybody can use it. You know? Because anything that's in this building, and they want to leave it here, it belongs to everybody. And again, if you don't like what I'm saying, I won't be sitting here April, and you can run and take my seat, and you can put in and change it. But as far as I'm concerned, anything in this building left here belongs to anybody here can use. No, we already voted on that. So it's over.
Because that shed is taxes, they paid for it. They paid $3,000 for that. Yeah.
All right, let's move on to fine and suspension. This one is gonna be a long one. Sue?
I'd like,
Then we're gonna take these one by one.
Yep. I'd like to make a motion to fine 8103 San Bernardino Drive for pressure washing the driveway, $50 a day to the limit of $5,000.
Is there a second? Second by Jennifer. Any comments? And just to let you know, these are people that had 3 notices sent out to them, and they haven't got the job done, haven't come in or even mentioned anything. So, again, you talk about it, you want us to enforce it, well, we're gonna start to enforce it, so. Sue?
Did we vote?
Yeah, who has a question?
I have a question.
You have to come up to the microphone and identify yourself, please.
Okay.
I am Lily Goldberg's 8400 Winding Wood Drive.
I don't understand what you're saying.
Speak into the mic,
Oh.
you don't understand.
I'm Lily Goldberg's 8400 Winding Wood Drive. I don't understand what you're talking about. They can't pressure wash their driveway?
Well, the people were informed at 3 different times that their driveways need to be pressure washed, and they failed to do it,
Okay.
all right?
And what is the reason for the pressure washing? Just-
Gotta clean it up.
Is it the rusty thing? Because
I guess it's rust and it's old dirt or mold or whatever.
Oh.
It's mold and stuff, so
It's black.
it's mold. Okay, any other questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, that goes up. The next one, Sue?
I'd like to move that we find 10717 Mira Vista Drive for the same, for pressure washing the walkway and for not pressure washing the walkway and driveway, $50 a day up to $5,000.
Is there a second? Second. Bill, any other comments? Any other comments? This one here on top, there's a road, I don't have it. Okay, I have mine. Okay. All in favor? Aye. Close the eyes, got it. Next one?
Okay, there are 2 separate ones for the same address. The first one for 10514 Calico Loop is for their non-trimming of the shrubs. And I'm moving $50 a day up to $5,000.
Is there a second? Larry seconded. Any other comments? Since there's no comment, all in favor?
Aye. This for the same address, 10514 Calico Loop. Again, this one is for removing, trash containers. And the, $50 a day, $5,000 total.
Second? Wait, this second. Okay, now you got it.
This $50 a day, talking about, is that for each one, or is that?
It's, each one.
Each one is a load.
So if they clear up one and not the
The
other,
other.
then the one would drop, but not the other.
And again, like I said, we've sent out many notices, so.
They were just checked to make sure that they
Yeah.
haven't been fixed before the meeting.
Everything's been checked before we. Any other, since there's no comment, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Aye.
Okay, next one, there are also two. This is for 10705 Tonopah Loop. And the first one is for the trimming of a tree because the branches are growing over the sidewalk and street. Again, $50 a day, up to $5,000.
Is there a second? Gene, second. Any comments? Yeah, Dan?
I went by this property today and, it looks trimmed to me. It's all been trimmed even. It looks a lot different from this photo.
Well, I
don't
went
know if
by,
There's a limit as to how high it needs to be, but.
I drove by, it's not high enough. And that's what the requirement is, you know.
I've never seen.
It is 14, believe me, I know somebody who got served a paper, and it's 14, we called the county, it's 14 feet.
Is it?
14 feet,
I don't know.
so.
I,
Yeah, wait, excuse me, we're not done up here on the board. Let's see how the board has to speak. And what, okay, yeah, John.
Sure, not specific to this address, but just in general, just to be nitpicky about the motions that we're making. If we could maybe think about adding the motion that says up to $5,000, I would add or until corrections are made.
Right.
Yeah, that's, sorry.
Anyway, yeah, yes, sir.
all right, I'm Ryan Wisely, 7024, 10705 Tonopah Loop is also part of our property. I did trim those trees as high as I could, so it's, I can't reach 14 foot. But it's over the sidewalk, it's over the lawn, I mean, that tree has been trimmed. I trimmed it more than 2 days ago. So I don't know when you say, well, you've already been there.
Yeah, I went by today.
And how high is it?
It's maybe 6 feet.
I think you're wrong.
Well, I don't know, it's not 14 feet.
No, nowhere in our documents does it say 14.
The county does, and that's what.
Our documents are what you're finding me on.
Well, I'm going by what our lady who drives around in the car takes the pictures. And when I questioned them once, because I knew a situation occurred on an individual, and we called the county specifies 14 feet.
I asked the manager, how high do I have to trim those trees? And he said, over your head. He said, as long as I can walk under them, they were fine. This is from your manager. Is that not true, John?
Ron, I think the message that I was trying to relay to you is that I'm not the person that does the inspections, but.
That's not what you told me.
But if I were, I typically wouldn't flag it for a violation if it could be walked under. But I don't draw that line in the sand, I'm not the person that does it.
I'd like to know where they come up and say there's 14 feet, because there's nowhere in our document, nowhere that I know how tall to make it. I trimmed it up over as far as I can reach, more than my arm. Now,
We
how-
appreciate your comment.
This is
We appreciate
over
your
6
comment.
foot.
We appreciate your comment. It's up to the board to decide whether you're right or wrong. Yeah, well, it goes to the planning committee. Yeah.
I got 2 letters. You said I should have had 3.
Wait, we're going on this one right now. This is the one we're talking about. We're handling this one.
Yeah, you say I should have gotten 3? I didn't get 3. I got 2.
No one said
2 notices.
Right.
And that's when I went out and trimmed them. And then I trimmed them over the sidewalk. I didn't know I had to trim it over my lawn. So now they took another picture and said, oh, your tree is over the lawn. Of course it's over the lawn. So then I went out and trimmed that as high as I could reach.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is a man that told me what I should do.
Thank you. Any other comments? Dan?
Okay, on the letter that went out, I don't see where it says anything about trimming over lawn. And, I think that people have their trees over their lawn to provide shade. But, I'm sorry, I know that we have rules, but none of our rules do mention 14 feet. Now, I believe, I would, well, personally, I know it's up to the funding committee, but I certainly would not fine this person simply because we do not have any rules or regulations that state.
Let them handle that.
Right, so.
Let them handle it. If it goes there.
Right, yeah.
If it goes.
If it goes there, yeah.
Yeah, John.
Jerry, since I probably added to some of the confusion, would we offer this homeowner additional time?
Yeah. 7 days.
I didn't put the motion in.
I will withdraw if the person is second with me, I'll withdraw this motion.
I'll second it.
All right.
And,
This one's tabled.
table to our next meeting?
Yeah.
Table to our next meeting.
Next one.
I'd like to make a motion, again on 10705 Tanoka Loop, to fine for cleaning the fascia on the house. And it would be $50 a day, up to $5,000 if it's, or until corrected.
Any other comments from the board? John?
Jerry, just to clarify on that last motion, it's tentative for 7 days pending correction. Would that come before the board at the next meeting, or would, if it's not corrected, would we proceed at that time?
If it's not corrected by the next board meeting, it would. Any other comments on this? Was there a second on that? Was there a second on Sue's motion?
On the fascia.
Is there a second? Okay, thank you. Any comments? Dan?
I can't make a judgment on this. I'd have to drive by the property because.
You told me you were by there
I did,
today.
but I was just looking at the tree.
And you couldn't see through the tree?
No, I wasn't looking.
No,
at it.
okay, I just want to make sure I understand.
It was mentioned to me about the tree, so I just drove by on my way home to look at the tree. I didn't. Look at that.
Any other comments from the board? Any other comments from anyone?
You just said about fashion, what is wrong with it? What is the complaint?
It needs clean.
It just needs clean?
Yeah, it's like mold or something like that, or something, I don't know. It's not 1 inch, but it's a second. Okay, any other comments? That's it. Any other? Okay. All, Debbie, what you do?
I have Jean Hair.
I'm sorry? No, you gotta vote yes or no.
Yes.
Yes.
Susan Muniak.
Yes.
Ann Osniger.
Yes.
Beverly Hasty.
Yes.
Jennifer Smiley.
Yes.
Larry Goldberg.
Yes.
Jerry Beers.
Yes. Did you ask Barry?
No. Senior building.
It's not a senior.
I didn't know it was a secret.
he allowed to go, Mr. President?
As far as I know, because it's common ground, he should be able to go.
No, but it affects the,
It affects the-
value of driftwood too.
Right, it's a value,
It's not my decision, that's why.
yeah, ask him,
No? Motion passed.
thank you. Okay, next one,
This is, 10516 Tapestry, and there are 2 violations. The first one is for the driveway, and I move that we do $50 a day, up to possibly $5,000, or until corrected.
sure, second, yeah. Any comments?
Are we getting return mail from this address? Because this has been vacant for 2 years. Does this mail get to these people? Is it forwarded?
It's not to my knowledge, is anything being returned.
Nothing's
for
returned,
any of
okay.
these addresses, right?
And the final notice is mailed, by, certified mail as well as regular mail. So we would get something back if it wasn't.
Any other comments? All in favor, say aye. Next one,
Same address, 10516 Tapestry, and this is because of a palm tree. And the, fine would be $50 a day, up to $5,000, or until corrected.
second? And second. Any comments? Pick up somebody.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hutchison, 11511 Elder Lane. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
We're new here, and I'm just curious. You're saying driveway, you're saying palm tree. What about it?
Driveway and security.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, John.
I can clarify, because it seems like there's a couple of new faces in the crowd.
Yeah.
So we do a weekly inspection. It's a person, it's not on-site staff, there's another person that comes in. We do weekly inspections. And they look for any violations of your documents. If you're not cutting your grass, you're not trimming your bushes, you're not keeping the property neat, tidy, we'll issue a violation. Typically, we go through a couple of warning letters, and then we get to this point to where it's a fine situation.
Okay, so this is basically
Property maintenance.
how it's, okay. All right, gotcha. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, HOA.
Yeah.
HOA development.
May Nyford Oakwood, I just want to know, $50 a day seems like an awful lot of money until this is completed, up to $5,000. So if someone in good faith, Ron talked about trimming the trees or whatever, and they're working on it and trying to get it done, they still have to wait every day until it is complete and get fined
No.
every day.
They go to the fining committee, they have a chance before. Now, if they fixed it by the time it gets to the fining committee, and they can show the fining committee that it's fixed, there's no fine. If they don't have it fixed or don't bother to go to the fining committee, then the fining starts 5 days after they've been at the hearing. That's state law, that it's 5 days after.
So everyone automatically gets a hearing on what, on this?
Yes, any of these, it goes from here to the fining committee. The fining committee has 2 choices. Yes, the fine is appropriate, no, the fine is not. They can't modify it, they can't change it, they can't do anything other than say yes or no.
Okay, their final word, but does that still mean that if they're working at fixing what they're supposed to fix, that we're gonna continue to fine?
No,
Well,
it's, like, this isn't the first letter that they get.
Right.
I mean, they've been notified for a while. If they would come in the early part and say, hey, we're working on it, we're having a little problem, then there's an extension given on that. And so, but sometimes some of these people have not even replied back. And so sometimes it takes something like this to shake a tail on somebody.
The other thing I would ask is when you're telling us what these fines are for, can you clarify for each one what it's for, palm tree? What, it needs trimmed,
Please remove dead palm fronds from palm
Is
tree.
that the one we've been
No,
working?
No.
That's another.
this is another one.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Okay.
Anyhow, was there any other comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Next one.
Next one has 5 different violations, and this one has been in violation for a long time. And this is 8101 Merrimack. The first one is, it says, please clean the fascia and remove the leaves in the gutters on the front of the house. And it's $50 a day, up to 5,000, or until fixed. And,
Any other comments?
wait a second.
No, second.
Second.
Bev, second. Any other comment, yeah?
This one I drove by earlier today, and there is a car in the driveway, so I'm assuming there is a tenant. It is a rental because the owner is different, has a different address. And it's pretty bad. It is really bad.
Any other comment? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes got it. Next one.
Again, 18101 Merrimack. This is for weed treatment applied, have weed treatments applied to your lawn. You know, it could just as easily have said, replace the lawn. It's $50 a day, up to 5,000, or correct it.
Second by Ann. Any other comments? No comments? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Next one.
8101 Merrimack, and this is for pressure washing the driveway, sidewalk, and the front of the house. $50 a day, up to 5,000, or until completed, and it. Second.
Second by Bill. Any comments? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes got it.
Again, 8101 Merrimack, and they're missing their mailbox. So please replace your mailbox. $50 a day, up to $5,000, or till fixed.
Second by Ann. All in favor?
Aye.
Next one.
Again, 8101 Merrimack, and this is for please trim the shrubs. $50 a day, up to $5,000, and or fixed, and that's it.
Second.
Second.
By Bill. Any other comments? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Ayes got it.
Yeah.
That's it on that. Yeah.
Elizabeth, would you like to? Okay. Save for making copies. Because this is quite a few copies if you want them. Okay.
And correspondence? Anything on correspondence?
They came in, previous to our packets,
Right.
so I printed out,
What do you got?
there's this one here, Jerry. Do that one first.
We have another one on a dog. Given to somebody and they have complained about the dog and who just, I guess, is disagreeing what the last complaint we had on the dog was. And that's what I have on that. Does everybody else have a copy of that?
That's kind of neighbor against neighbor.
It's neighbor against neighbor.
Probably $50.
I want you to handle that one, man. 'Cause I didn't-
This was, I'm not sure if this came on, email or not, but it was to all board members, the manager, incident behind 8640 Gold Pine. At 6:40 PM, a light blue sedan pulled up on the county road leading to the lift station behind 8640 Gold Pine Drive. It parked, windows down, and there were a number of people in the car all looking toward the homes backing up to the area behind the timber oak shed. They sat there for approximately 6 to 8 minutes, then backing up and trying to turn around and go back from whence they came. This resident called the sheriff's 911 and reported the incident, then drove over to see if the gate on Ponderosa was locked, which it was wide open on both sides. I think this has since been corrected. There was a reason why it was left open that one time, so.
We're not currently locking that gate.
Oh, not at all?
We can if the board chooses to.
Well, that's the, I mean, you literally can just drive around the gate anyhow. The gate, to go through the process of locking it, it's a waste of time because you just literally just drive around it. All right. I guess any comments? Jennifer, want to make last minute comments?
Just thank everybody for coming to this experiment of an evening meeting again, so.
We did have another correspondence, but that's been taken care of.
Yeah.
Sorry, Jennifer.
I'd like to thank everyone for coming out this evening. I see a few new faces. We guess we have to decide if we're gonna go ahead and have a night meeting again.
Jerry? Nothing to say? Jane?
I'd like to thank everyone for coming out this evening. I know it's a little late, but it's nice to see all the happy faces.
And?
Thank everybody for coming tonight. We actually had a good show. So, yeah. So thank you.
Susan?
Thank you for coming, and it is nice to be back and see you all, so you don't have to just listen to me over the ether.
Can we have a choice on that?
No.
Larry?
Everyone know this, and I'm glad everybody's doing fairly well, being healthy, staying healthy.
And I get to run my mouth. Again, I want to thank everybody for coming, and I was very glad to see a lot of new faces. I see some I've seen before, but not at the meetings. And I really appreciate everybody taking the time and effort to come. Again, thank you. And again, thank you to John and Debbie, and yes, Shamar. The motion to adjourn the meeting and go into open forum. Second?
Second.
Okay. All in favor, say aye. Open forum now. Anybody have any comments or want to say anything? Microphone's up there.
Yeah, Ron Wise, 7024.
We have somebody that wants to talk up here.
I'd like to see if anybody that would like to stop around the corner, Tonopah Loop, and see where those leaves are, where those branches fall. I mean, it's ridiculous. And I talked to the manager, and this man told me what I had to do. I did it, and he will not back up and tell me what he told me.
Before you figures, you can discuss it.
Well,
Ron, he asked for a longer amount of time for you, so he is trying to make up for the manager. He asked, you got extra time because he was involved in.
Anybody else got anything to say?
sir, you know,
Ed, please.
I'm kind of.
My name is Ed Hebber, I live on Donald Lake Drive, and I would like to compliment the
I
board.
can't hear you. Please. Somebody's trying to speak.
I would like to compliment the board and the manager for doing what they're doing. I do have an extensive background in code enforcement. As a matter of fact, I was certified and I've done it for many years as a fire chief and chief code enforcement officer for a municipality in New York. this is the way you handle it. They all think that this is the first time they were notified, as we've always done. It is the last process you want to do, is to find them. They have more than adequate information on it. And I think this should have been done by prior boards, and we really appreciate what you're doing. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else want to give up and give me a compliment again? And the board too.
I would like some direction on what to do about that shed over there. It does belong to CAXA. And, so I can go in there and clean it out and get rid of what I want to get rid of.
You need to talk to the people on Kaleidoscope. Talk to them and say what they work with them.
I don't know anymore.
CASA gave them the permission to use the shed. So we're not telling you to go into that shed. I'm telling you, consult with the people involved running the Kaleidoscope and anyone else. I can't hear you. You need to talk to the proper people. Thank you. Anyone else? Have a good night.